Hello, everyone. I'm the Peculiar Pisces, and today is Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024, and this is Flosstube video number 12. I am back once again with weekly updates. Last week was the last week of spring break, so it's 2 weeks in a row. The kids went back to school today, so yay me, I finally can get back on track with like my normal stitching schedule this week and then getting back into the groove of cleaning and doing the normal things that I have to do around the house. So I will jump into it. I have been starting each segment with past finishes, and I'm going to show you three little ones that after I completed the Lots of Heart Elephant one, I was like, I need like some quick little dopamine fixes. And so like each one took me like 2, maybe 3 days at most. The first one that I had finished, I don't have because my daughter stole it, my oldest, but it was this. It's an old NMI kit, which is Needle Magic Incorporated. The company doesn't exist anymore. There was some chatter a few years ago that they might come back, but I don't think they ever did. I never see them, but this was the first one that I did, and I have a photo of it, and hopefully I can find it and pop it right there. But if not, after I finished cross stitching this, my oldest daughter said mine and took it, and she's using it as a bookmark. The next one that I did was also a little NMI kit, and it was this one. I haven't like finished it. I'm not sure if I want to do what this is or if I want to, pull out some threads and like mount this over top of, some sort of colored paper or something. And then the third one that I did was again a little NMI kit. So like each one of these took 2, maybe 3 days at most. And they were just really quick. Like I think maybe I did the stitching on day 1 and then the back stitching on day 2 and just sort of broke it up like that, maybe. Not entirely sure, but 3 little kits. It took me maybe a week total to do all 3. And then after that, I started working on a cross stitch that I gifted my BFF for her for Christmas. But next week I'll show you pictures of that. That one was fun. Okay, so let me put those there. So into my regular 4 projects. The purpose, which I haven't said in a while, the purpose for 3 of these it was to get them done and put them into the county and the state fair. County fair is in July. I've forgotten the dates now. I know I have it in my calendar. So the due dates for the county fair are June 28th and 29th to have them finished, framed, turn them in. The county fair runs July 13th through the 20th. And then state fair drop-offs are July 28th and 29th. And then the state fair runs August 23rd through September 2nd. So at this point, I'm on week 12 of stitching because they sort of align with my Flosstube videos. It's taken me 12 weeks to get to the point that I am now in each of my stitches. So I don't think I'm going to make that deadline unless during when summer vacation starts and I just fully focus on like one project a day and then just switch off each and every day like I was doing during spring break. I might be able to pull it out in the end, but I'm I'm unsure that they're going to be finished, framed, and ready to be turned in. If not, I will hold them and then they will be put into next year's fair. But still, I'm trying and hoping for my goal. So my first project is the one that I'm calling the Favorite Designer Project. I have three, and last week I told you what my next project is going to be after I finish this. But for now, I'm still working on Teresa Wentzler's The Castle, which is this one right here. And I am doing on 16 count hand dyed fabric that I dyed myself. And it's 2/1. So it's 16 count, 2/1, and this meets the requirement for one of the categories in the county fair, which is 14 to 18 count is what the category is. And then this also fits a category in the state fair. I'm just gonna have to wait until the final size to measure it to know exactly which category it is, because there are some that are like under 12 inches, there are some that are under 24 inches, and I think 36 is the biggest. So once it's finally done, I can know exactly which category I'm going to want to put it into the state fair. So again, I'm doing Teresa Wentzler's The Castle, which is this one right here on the cover. This is this week's progress. Okay, so let me do it all on this side so there's room over here for the picture. So this is this week's progress. I finished out the rocks. I brought the sort of stomach area down. I've worked in here and I've worked bringing in, I believe all of the castle colors are done. And then it's like a row of bushes and stuff. And then in starts the rocks coming down. So all the castle colors are done on this quarter. And this rock is done. This is my left edge. So again, here's where I am on the whole piece. Another little bit more, and I think I'll be like halfway done with this section. Okay, the second piece is, I'm calling it the Blackwork or sampler category, and I started it out with a Blackwork piece. This was page 4, this was page 3, this is page 1. Most of what I was working on is this diamondy bit, jewels, gemstones. It was this section. I believe last week this top edge was done. So I think I finished doing this bottom edge of it, and now I'm just filling in the inner parts. So this one is getting really close to being halfway done. So I just have the rest of page 1 and then page 2 to finish out. And this piece is like this section. So it's not as intricate as like this page is. So hopefully next week's progress shot will be it's halfway done and I've moved into the next section. Oh, I didn't. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to cut and splice and move those around because let me try that again. My second piece is called, that I'm calling my Blackwork or sampler piece, is by Practical Blackwork, and it's called Pentecost. And this is what it looks like. I am doing this on 18 count Aida 1/1 on hand dyed fabric that I dyed myself. Okay. Project number 3 is the one that I'm calling Wish List. This one is by Heaven and Earth Designs, and it's called Fae Risque by Amy Brown. I am not doing the called for colors. I am doing my own blue conversion. This is what I printed out of Pattern Keeper. It is 22 count, and I'm doing 2/1. And for me, 22 count is like as high as I'm willing to go for showing, for doing 2/1. Anything beyond 22 count is just, it's too tight and it's too difficult to get the needle through. So this week's progress, let me fix my strings first and get them all out of the way. This is this week's progress. I am still, I'm on page 5, and I'm working up along the edge of the wings. It's going to come up probably about up to here, maybe. So I've just been sort of working across here and then working up and across and up, and that's sort of my method for going up. So page 10 and page 9 are finished, and this is page 5. And my last project is my Stashbuster piece. This has been in my stash for forever. It is a plaid Bucilla kit. Donna Dewberry is the designer, and the piece is called Hummingbird and Floral. I did not use the provided Aida. It is still in here. I haven't really even taken it out and looked at it. I was afraid that there was going to be damage to the fabric from rubber bands, so I didn't use it. I purchased some Charles Craft from Michael's, and I hand dyed it myself. It's 2 shades of blue, and it's meant to look like the sky. So this is my progress for this one. The flower is done. Like there's a couple of stitches in here, and I think just a couple in here that's like one. It's like a random color that didn't, link to whatever was nearby. So there's just a few more stitches left to do for the flower. But then I started working down on the leaves. So this is 14 count Aida. Primarily it's 2/1. There's a little section in here that's 1/1 half stitches for texture. Here's a closer up. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I forgot to tell you how long I worked on each piece. So let me back that up a moment. The Teresa Wentzler, I was able to work on it 3 days this week. And total for this week, I was able to put in 8 hours, 59 minutes, and 41 seconds, bringing my total for this project up to 92 hours, 38 minutes, and 31 seconds. So again, that's Teresa Wentzler, The Castle, with a total so far of 92 hours, 38 minutes, and 31 seconds. During the summer, when I focus on one project a day, I think we'll see a lot more jumps in progress. So for the Blackwork piece, I only worked on this for an hour and a half last week. So it brought my total up to 59 hours, 13 minutes, and 32 seconds. I did not get to focus as much on this. Whichever day it was that I worked on it, I think it was Tuesday of last week. And that was Practical Blackwork's Pentecost with 59 hours, 13 minutes, and 32 seconds. And then Project 3. I worked on Fae Risque for 4 hours, 47 minutes, and 42 seconds, bringing my total for this project to 91 hours, 46 minutes, and 17 seconds. The Teresa Wentzler has now surpassed this one in time that I've worked on it. So it is again back to being my primary project. And then the Hummingbird and Floral piece, project number 4. I got to work on this 2.5 hours this week. So it's brought my total time on this project to 27 hours, 15 minutes, and 5 seconds. I did try to work on this on the weekend. We went fishing, and it was about an hour drive. And so there it is. We packed everything. We got in the truck, my husband's truck, and the 4 of us were driving down. And I start pulling it out, and I pulled up a whip parade of a different Flosstuber that I watch that was going to be like a 2-hour video. So I was like, okay, well, I can watch half of it down and then, half of it on the way back. And it's like I had like my earbuds in so that like I wasn't bothering the rest of the car. And it's like I start pulling everything out and I start getting ready. And then I'm like, oh no, I don't have a highlighter. I don't have a pen. I don't have anything that I can mark off on this. So instead, I just sat there and focused and watched the whip parade instead of listening to it while I was stitching. And then when we got there, it was part of the Arkansas River. And we live in Colorado, so like it flows through. And so like we found this beautiful spot, and we had to walk a ways from like where the parking area was for everybody. And there was this beautiful, majestic horse just standing on the other side of the river, but like standing there, like watching us. And my husband's like, that's a wild horse. And I'm like, I don't think it's a wild horse. Maybe it is, but it's on the other side of the river, and I doubt it's going to splash through to, come over. So we're good. But, the whole time we were fishing, me and the kids kept, looking over, oh, the horse is still there. It disappeared a few times and would come back and stuff. My oldest started having an issue with her fishing rod. And so she got bored because the fishing rod wasn't working right and daddy couldn't fix it because he didn't have like all the things that he needed. And, you know, whatever 10-year-olds say when they get bored. And so she started like, she climbed up back behind us. And so, like, we were down at the riverbank, and behind us, there was like this cliff. Like, if I were to walk up to it and stand, I could put my fingertips on the top of it. So it's like not a huge cliff, but it was like a cliff. And there was like this area, and there was this huge tree. So my 10-year-old was, messing around there and like climbing up the tree and generally scaring the fish away because, she was, I'm bored. I'm hungry. I'm tired. Let's go, just constantly because that's what 10-year-olds do these days. And she had just said, again, she was hungry. And she was standing at the edge of the cliff. And next thing I know, the cliff edge crumbled beneath her feet and she slipped down. Now, she had tried to grab something as she was falling to catch herself. It ended up being like a sticker bush, like those things that tumbleweeds are that are not attached anymore. It was like one of those that she had tried to grab, and I think it stopped her fall somewhat, but she landed on her feet and then immediately fell back on her butt and kind of bounced on some rocks. And then so she didn't cry, which kind of surprised me. Um, so we were like, okay, fishing's done. Let's go back to the truck and let's go, eat whatever we brought. And then, we made our drive back home. She managed to get just a scrape on the knee. That was it. No bruises anywhere, nothing broken, nothing injured, nothing like that. But yeah. So I was teasing my daughter. I was like, so you fell off a cliff, huh? I was like, your story for spring break is going to be hilarious when you tell your friends that you fell off a cliff because they're not going to believe you. But she really did. She fell off a cliff. It wasn't a tall cliff because I could reach the top of it, but from her point of view, it was a cliff edge and she fell off a cliff. And that's her story and she's sticking to it. So I did not get to stitch on the project that I took with me because I forgot to snag a highlighter. I will not be making that mistake today. And my daughter's, the one that I was just speaking of, her after school activities have changed. Instead of being Wednesdays and Saturdays now, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I feel like I'll be able to work on it more than what I was with it being on a Saturday. Because if we would all go as a family and, wait for her thing, I wouldn't get to stitch. But if it was just me that took her to it, then I would have time to stitch because I would sit out in my car while she would do her thing. But today starts me going back to normal, working on my projects, all 4 of them in a day. Probably not today because it's my filming day, so there's going to be some editing. Maybe, I don't know. I'm so lazy and I backtracked and I'm lazy. I probably won't edit. The the most you get for editing is when I add the picture in or put in some words. But it's just because I don't have the time and the patience to want to deal and work with the editing programs. It's not my thing. It really isn't. Um, but that was my progress on my 4 projects. And hopefully I get at least, I'm hoping to get them done for the fairs. Next week. Next week should be a normal filming week with me filming on Monday. And then I'm going to be having a surgery soon. When's that surgery? Oh goodness. The post-op is supposed to be the 22nd. So I think I'm supposed to be having surgery next week. Not on the 8th. Not on the 9th. Okay. On Wednesday the 10th of next week, I am supposed to be having a surgery on, I have a ganglion cyst right here. It's too close to an artery, so they can't use the needle to remove it. So they're going to have to do a surgery. So I should have progress on Monday and do the filming, and then on Wednesday I'll be having the surgery, and probably I probably won't be stitching. I probably will not be stitching again until after probably my post-op surgery, or my post-op, which was the 22nd. So I might be taking a few weeks off for stitching and filming. Yeah, I will probably have nothing to show for the week of. Yeah, so I will probably not be back until after. If my post-op surgery is on the 20th. Post-op, that's not the surgery, the post-op. Post-op is Monday, the 22nd. I probably will not have done any stitching, and so yeah, I probably won't be back for 2 weeks or so. If I get some stitching in, then I'll come back for an update video after that. But yeah, I have that surgery, and there's probably not going to be any stitching done. So uh, so that's an FYI. So you're not going to see me. Well, you're going to see me next week, but then after that, you won't see me for a few weeks because, yeah. So I will see you guys next week.